If you're looking to pick yourself up some coins for FUT 21, then make sure to click my link in the description, go to U7Buy, and make sure you use my code Birdie at checkout to get 5% off of your order. Hey guys, it's Scott here, and welcome to today's video. Hopefully you do enjoy this one. If you did, give it a big fat thumbs up and subscribe if you're new, if you want to see more videos and live streams. Today we've got a bit of a two-in-one video, so whilst this is a Road to Glory video, this is the FUT Champs highlights of us going Gold 1, going 20 and 10. And I also want to talk about a few tips and tricks to help you guys get to Gold 1 and show you all of the goals that were scored and some patterns in play that may help you reach this next level. If you are potentially Gold 3 or Gold 2 trying to push up to Gold 1, then this should hopefully be of use to you. If you do have any questions, then please do feel free to put them in the comment section down below. And if you would like me to do more tutorial based videos going in depth on specific scenarios, specific styles of play, and things that you should do maybe in and around the box, shooting patterns, dribbling patterns, passes, etc., then let me know and I will get to work on making some tutorials. But without further ado, these are the FUT Champs highlights of us going Gold 1 on the Road to Glory. So this is the team that we are using for this FUT Champs Weekend League. I basically changed it quite a lot because I wanted it to be closer to my PS4 team, which I had success with last week. Get some 5-star skillers in there because they are very, very important this year, in my opinion. So we get things underway with our first few games, and a couple of things that I want to focus on in this video in terms of the patterns of play that I saw and have seen throughout my hundreds of games already on FIFA 21 are a couple of things that are really good. That one right there, RB or R1 crosses. If you can get down the line with someone really, really quick, if you have got a good strong, pacey striker in the middle, if you get down the line, hold down R1 or RB if you're on Xbox or PlayStation, and whip in a cross with about 3 bars of power, and your guy is going to get some very, very good opportunities to get on the end of it. Shoot. Even if you think that it's a ridiculous volley, it's never going to go in, just shoot anyway, okay? And that is the first thing that I'm going to give you as a big, big tip. The second is power in your shots this year. Just abuse the power in shots. You can go for LT power shots or L2 power shots, although if you're moving slowly, your guy will do a skill shot, so do be wary of that. But just put shot power on it. So whether you go near post or far post is much better than it was last year, and you will see a lot of situations in these games where I do just bang the ball at the far post. If your opponent's goalkeeper is not charging out at you, you should probably put it far post and it will go in the majority of the time. However, sometimes if they're charging or if the angle is slightly different or maybe they've moved them to one side, you can go for a near post shot. There are also other scenarios that I have focused on so far. Chip shots. Chip shots are really good in certain situations. If the goalkeeper is running out at you, they are holding down triangle or wire, you can chip them really, really easily this year. You've just got to practice the power on your chip shots, but they are so good if you get them right. There are times where the keeper isn't even off his line, and you can chip him from the edge of the box. So I would advise definitely practicing chip shots as well as getting in and around the box and then hitting a power shot. Another thing, as these games go on in the background, we're actually doing okay at this stage. Obviously, the first 10 games of FUT Champs are always the easiest, so I would advise just getting through those, getting as many wins as those first 10, and taking that confidence through to the remaining games, because it does get harder after that. But another thing that I will point out is RB or R1 dribbling, aka Agile dribbling. I have been playing around with it a little bit so far, and at first, I really didn't see that much use in it. I thought that the touches were too heavy. However, I had been using it in the wrong way. If you want to use Agile dribbling, you need to basically do it to go in a bit of a U shape with your player for the most part. So if you want to take it from his right foot to his left foot, you can just tap it to the side, and you can do some really quick dribbling with that. Or you can spin it round behind, take the ball backwards and then move it to the side, and you can use this as a replacement for the drag back from FIFA 20, which obviously was very, very overpowered and obviously was going to get nerfed in FIFA 21, and it has. Some people have asked me in my streams, how do you even do drag backs? You hold down both bumpers, so either LB and RB on Xbox or L1 and R1, and then you do the drag back move. but they're nowhere near as good this year. They take too long. They're not as agile as they were before. So if you use agile dribbling, just with that right bumper, you can really open up some space in the box. And also, when you do it, if you are facing away from goal, as you start agile dribbling, you'll face towards goal. So it's a nice way to quickly turn your play around and then get a little touch away from a defender. And a lot of the time, you should probably do it when you are moving backwards, because then you open up space and move to the side, and you can potentially give yourself a 1-2 opportunity or play it to another player and then just put it in. As you saw right there with Marcus Rashford. So if you want to rewind, that's a prime example. Spinning around, moving to the side, playing in Pogba, and then banging it in. So these are all little tips and tricks that I would advise to try and help you with your gameplay. Now, this is where we had recording problems, okay? This is only for the next 5 games, so there's hardly... I'm putting in 1 highlight from each game. I don't know what happened with my recording software. I apologise. But we had massive problems. I can show you the teams fine, but as soon as it went in games, for some reason it looked like this. And our record went a little bit downhill at this stage. We went from 9-1 to getting a couple of losses in a few games. I apologise that you can't really see exactly how we're losing, but there was a penalty shootout, there was a 120th minute goal, and it was just a little bit frustrating to say the least. But here you go. Here are some more penalties right here. And this is us halfway through our weekend league. Not an awful record, to be honest. Now we move on to the second half of our games, and after a little bit of a rocky period in the middle, you do start to get a little bit worried in FUT Champs. Like, going from 9-1 to 11-4, it's still not a bad record, don't get me wrong. However, compared to what it was, it's not too great. So you got to try and keep that composure, right? So what do? I then go and lose my next game. It's fine. Because as long as you keep your head, even though you're going to come up against some really, really good teams and some decent players, as long as you know that you are playing to the best of your ability and not making stupid mistakes, then you'll be fine. However, one big thing that I did a lot this weekend, and the reason why I got some of the losses that I did, some of them were stupid and undeserved, but that's FIFA. There's nothing you can do about it. If you concede a terrible goal, by the way, this is the best goal of the weekend. The sombrero into that kind of finish. My goodness, Rashford. Fair play. I love him. His 5-star skills, he's amazing. And then we get absolutely slapped by this guy. I'm only putting in the last goal because it's actually quality. He beat me 7-0. I should have scored about 3 goals, but doesn't matter. We're moving on from that one. But the mistake that I made quite a few times this weekend was dragging a defender out of position instead of using my midfield to try and defend. So it's a technique that was utilised a lot in earlier FIFAs, but not really last year. The amount of AI blocks that happen in this game is crazy. So if you have good centre-backs, you don't really need to defend using them all of the time, because they will just stick out a leg, stick out an arm, it doesn't matter. They'll try and do anything to block the shot a vast majority of the time. So one thing that I learnt as I was going through the games on this account, and then I played my PlayStation account afterwards and did even better on that one, is that if you defend by trying to block off maybe an obvious pass with your centre-back, but then switching into your midfield, maybe bringing a defensive mid-back or even a wider player backwards to try and help out, block out those passes, is really, really useful. And I found that to be very helpful for me, whereas last weekend, when I didn't do as well, I was trying to manually defend with my centre-back basically every single time, and it just wasn't working out for me. So this weekend I tried to let the AI have a bit more influence, because it really annoys me when my opponents get so many AI blocks. So I tried to utilise it to my own advantage. I still think that I manually defend more than maybe I need to, because of some of the opponents that I come up against. I swear they literally never control their centre-back unless the game forces them to, and yet they'll still do well. Whereas I do switch into them occasionally when I feel like it's the right time to do it. And maybe if I get really good at the manual defending aspect, then there are times and places where you should manually defend and other times where you should let the AI do it. But I think the big takeaways from this weekend league are that AI defending is ridiculous and it is very frustrating to play against. But RB/R1 dribbling can be used very, very well in conjunction with player runs in creating a little bit of space for yourself and then laying someone off, or doing a 1-2 with someone, or doing a skill move, something like that. It's really, really good. Power shots are very good. RB crosses are very good as well. And skill moves in general, and sort of players that are very quick at skill moves, are, in my opinion, the meta. Because the speed at which you can do certain skill moves is really nice, whether it's just a fake shot, or whether it's an elastico, or a roulette, or something like that. I think you guys should also, if you're struggling a little bit, try and utilize triangle passes. So if you're using a formation like mine, this is the 4-1-2-1-2 narrow, your right striker, pass it as an LB or L1 past your cam. That will then make that striker run forward. Pass it back to your cam, then pass it to your left striker, then pass it back to your right striker. Instead of doing a very simple and predictable 1-2, mix it up a little bit and utilize triangle passing, and sometimes you'll throw people off in defense. Now, there are still some aspects of this game that I'm obviously not great at, which is why I'm not getting Elite 1 or Top 200 or stuff like that. But I do want to try and help some of you that ask me for advice, because whilst I'm not the best at the game, I'm still at a higher level than some people, and so I'm going to try and bring some of you up to my level, and then maybe, together, we can then both jump up to Elite together. That'd be the dream scenario, wouldn't it? So, that is that, really. Now, at this stage, we're a little bit worried because we had to win our last 2 games in order to get Gold 1. Coming up against Mbappe and Neymar all the time, and the amount of lone Mbappes that happened was just ridiculous. However, in our 19th game, the guy rage quit. Perfect scenario. Absolutely perfect scenario. And then this is our last game to get Gold 1. Gareth Bale was not outrageous in terms of how I felt using him this weekend, but he went big in this last game, and he got a hat-trick and 1 assist. My total stats for my players this weekend: Bale, 22 goals, 13 assists. Rashford, 19 goals, 20 assists. Dembele, 15 goals, 18 assists. Pogba, 8 and 6. Coutinho 5 and 7, and Fabinho 7 and 2. And that is us getting Gold 1. So leave any comments down below as to how you think I should incorporate this into future videos, and let's get into the outro. Oh, I hope that you did enjoy that, and I hope that it was useful for some of you that are potentially trying to push to that next level. Again, if you have any feedback, put it in the comments, but I'm more than willing to do tutorial videos and stuff like that going forward as well. If you did enjoy it, thumb it up, subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.